Hi, I'm Stan DeFreitas Mr. Greenthumb, and of course you are.
And I'm James DeFreitas, and we are here each and every week to talk to you about your gardening and or real estate. And one of the things I always like to start the show out with is if you have a gardening question. One of the great things that we offer is you can go to our website at askmrgreenthumb.com, and that would be MR, not the MISTER. That will take you to a totally different website that probably doesn't exist. So you can go to askmrgreenthumb.com, and you can go to the Ask button. Go to the Ask button at the top of the screen there, and you can type in your gardening question. It also gives you the option to where you can take a photo right from your phone and include it as, so that you can help with letting us know about your problem. If you have a plant you want to have ID'd, if you have a bug you want ID'd, Stan is pretty darn good at doing that. And so therefore, it's a free service. So we encourage people to go and do that.
Yeah, I just as soon come to your place and charge you. But if you want to send us a picture, I can normally identify your problem. I had one last week. Somebody sent me a picture of their palm, and it was just riddled with real big holes. And it was a queen palm, so it's a relatively cheap palm. And I just said, look, you're going to need to have that tree taken down. Give Stafford Tree Service a call because I don't think it's worth it. And she was worried, as most of us are, with hurricane season right around the corner. We're actually in it. But the main hurricane season's coming. Why take a chance? If you've got that big branch and it's over your bedroom window, you don't want to go, should I or shouldn't I? You need to have it trimmed and get it done now.
Right, exactly. So that's something that people need to be thinking about. And, in truth, one of the things I would think that people should probably be doing is, if you're thinking about, the hurricane season, you should be thinking about that back in March and April. Because they book up pretty quick. And then when there is a hurricane or a storm or tropical storm, they're busy. And they're busy clearing debris because they have to be. So, and we'll get into that more when we have Kelly come on our program.
Sure.
Which she's due to come on our program at any point at this time. So that's a good thing. So we might mention, too, that we do have an auction property. And, if you're interested in what I call a affordable living condo, it is a 55 and up community. But if you are interested in a 55 and up community with very affordable, regime fees, the address is 1959th Avenue North, Unit 216, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33714. And, it's in my mind, it's a fantastic 55 plus community. The seller's got brand new carpeting, brand new paint, upgraded air conditioning, brand new roof, and it is a well-maintained unit that overlooks a really nice lake that has a nice fountain in the center. There's all kinds of activities that people can partake in, and I highly recommend people reach out to us. You can either reach me at 727-254-7127, and I've been told I say that number too quickly, so 727-254-7127. Or you can reach Stan at 727-423-4794. And we'd be happy to make sure that you get in to take a look at the unit. It is a silent auction because we are auctioneers. So a little idea about the silent auction. Maybe you'd like to explain a little bit about what that entails.
Well, we can tell folks that basically it's similar to a regular putting a bid in. And you're doing that every day if you're a realtor. You're saying, here's what my client's willing to pay. Now, I will say we did get a bunch of folks coming in, I'm going to give you a lot. I'm going to give you 50,000 or whatever. And no, it's not a desperation sale. So we've refused folks who came in and with an offer that's way too low. We're telling folks, look, you got to be reasonable. It's a beautiful deal, nice community, great library too. Mm-hmm. And let me say the word library because I find everybody wants to call it library.
What's wrong with library?
Yeah, it drives me nuts. But I will also tell folks that it's a quiet community. And I think you did say, let's say the guy or gal, maybe you've got a partner who's 45 as long as the lead person is 55, they could have someone as young as 45, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the other thing I would mention too is that if you let's say you're in the business and your fellow real estate brethren, let's say you want your client to, they really are interested in doing this. Well, they can actually fill out the bidder registration paperwork directly right online. They can fill it out and submit it directly online. So for them to do that, you would just tell them to go to our website at floridaauctionteam.com. And that's Florida, that's spelled all out, floridaauctionteam.com. Okay, so real easy. Off to the right, there are three little lines at the top. If you're doing it on an iPhone or something like that, or an Android, three little lines at the top, it gives you a menu that explodes out, and you'll see under contracts or upcoming auctions, that's another link you'll see. And you can click on either one, and it'll take you to the online bidder registration form. We had a situation where a client was interested in potentially, participating, but the problem that they had is they said, oh, well, I don't have the ability to print out the registration paperwork. I certainly wouldn't have the ability to scan it, and I don't know how to attach it and email it back to you. So I have taken all of that out of the process for them to where they can do everything right from their Android or iPhone. And I timed myself the other day. Now, I'm probably a little biased because I was born with having these technological doodads in my hand. But the one thing I would say is I was able to do it in about 5 minutes. So if I'm able to do it in 5 minutes, let's say it takes you 10. Big deal, no problem. 10 minutes and it's done, and you didn't really have to do anything. In the registration paperwork, though, there is a spot in there so you can include your real estate agent so they can get paid. Maybe they've shown you lots of different units. Well, I want you to be aware, and Stan wants you to be aware, that we are going to make sure your agent gets paid and make sure that they're taken care of. So often, as well as I do in auction properties, that there are lots of companies out there, that only pay 1%.
Yep.
Well, you and I've said this before. We don't know what you did to drum up the business to have that person go with you. Maybe you cut their grass for 5 years. Who knows? But I sure don't want to shortchange that relationship that you fostered over the years. And not just to say that you were doing it for a commission, but it is a relationship where at some point it'd be nice to get a little reward for your hard work. And at that point, I don't want you to feel shortchanged that you brought them to our auction.
And respect your realtor. I mean, I'm always amazed. We know that when we go into a restaurant, we need to respect our waiter or waitress. And, 20% normally is about what you ought to be tipping. I'm amazed the number of folks that'll have somebody drive them all over from Holiday to Sarasota looking at 10 properties, and then they'll go dark on their agent. And, that just isn't right. It isn't right. And I'm saying that not just for me, but for all agents out there. And they're all of our brethren and sistren who are out there. Don't know if that's a word or not, but I'll put it out there.
I like that you're covering both genders.
Well, and there are many men and women who are in our business. And I'm always a little bit upset that, I had a guy the other day go, well, I don't really want to pay my agent. And I said, well, if your agent does all this work and they go all over showing you stuff, you don't think your agent deserves to make a living? And, I just don't want to pay it. It's not in my the way I do business. I've been doing it this way. In fact, this guy was from New York, so he was going, in New York, I don't pay nothing. I ain't going to pay no commission. I said, well, you're going to have to pay a commission here. So, and God love New Yorkers. My father was from New York.
Yeah, not to say that we don't love people from New York. We absolutely do. We love people from New Jersey, New York. We love everybody.
But you got to pay your agent.
Exactly. Just like your waiter or waitress, you have to take care of them too. And I'm not saying that those are comparable jobs, but I mean they're very different jobs, both extremely important in my opinion.
Sure.
But one of the things I would say is that there's no free lunch. If somebody's taking care of you, it shouldn't be that you have to sit back and wonder if there's some kind of compensation that's going to be in place for them. So so if anybody's interested in partaking in a silent auction, and again, one of the things I would say with this silent auction, I would say in Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, we're probably the only agents doing this, but it allows people to participate in an auction without ever physically having to go to an auction to actually hear a live calling. So, I mean, I think there's a little bit, people tend to avoid things that they don't understand.
Right.
Both agents do this. People that would like to participate in the process tend to avoid things they don't understand. And, but it couldn't be simpler in terms of how this operates. If you've ever seen a silent auction for stuff, people tend to understand that pretty easily. You just write down the amount you're willing to pay, and you put your name and stuff down, and it usually goes into a box, and then they announce winners at the end of the silent auction on a designated time and date, and the same thing applies here. And in this case, the silent auction is going to end on August the 7th, which is my birthday, I'd like to point out. So
happy birthday early.
that would be a nice birthday present to get this condo handled. So no pressure out there, but August 7th, all bids need to be received no later than noon on August the 7th so that we can announce a winner on about 2 o'clock the same day.
They don't need to bring you a present or a cookie.
The present will be that you successfully signed up and you want to buy a good condo at a great price, and I do think it's a great price. I mean, if anybody goes over there and looks at all of the condos that are available in the 1900 59th Avenue North area, you're going to find that there aren't any 2.2s in the $70,000 range. You're just not going to find it. All of the rest of the 2.2s, I mean, the other 2.2 that's available in the same complex is at $120,000. So are we priced correctly? You betcha.
Yep, but we would like to get that price up. So don't come in with a low ball saying, "Well, I'm going to offer you $55,000 or $56,000 or $58,000," because it's not a deal where the guy has to have it, has to take it tomorrow. Even though it's an auction property, you're going to pay a fair price for it. Let me also mention to people, we have started something new. Now that we are with Keller Williams, we're going to form our own kind of Greenthumb team. And we're going to be looking for some agents. Now, you go to school, you pass your exam, and then you don't know often where to go. We are going to have a situation where you can join James and I, and you can do a traditional sales and be part of our team. We will help mentor you. We also have Bobby Paolini and many of the other fine folks. Probably the best education I've seen is through Keller Williams. And I've seen many other places that had good education. This is probably by far the best.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, Bobby Paolini is considered their team leader over here at the Palm Harbor office at Keller Williams, and we'll be having him come in very soon as well. And we'll be taking a break here and going to some commercials, and please stay tuned.
Stay with us as the talk continues.